Alright, welcome back out to the shop for another tech time. Today I'm going to be working on the ELB's trike and I'm going to be installing some new accessories. One of those is a quad lock phone holder, the Altura bag with the ICE sidebar mount. But I think this is going to be a good addition to her trike. If it works well enough, I may get them for my trike because the bags that I have are good and they're good for carrying a lot of stuff, but they're difficult to get in and out of, especially as you've seen in some of my videos, or maybe you haven't seen. But it's kind of hard for me to get my camera in and out of the bag while I'm riding. Even though it's right there by my hands, it's so low, it's difficult to get to. Alright, so let's get started. I've got all the parts here, I've got everything ready. I'm also going to reinstall a headlight on her trike because this one was kind of on the blink for a little bit. One of the wires in the USB connector was coming loose, so my fix was just to tie the wire. And I've tested it numerous times, and because there was a loose wire or maybe a broken wire inside there somewhere, so I tightened it back down instead of having to take it apart and try and fix it. So now the USB connector will work, and it seems to work just fine. So I'm going to reinstall this on her trike as well. The Altura bag comes with, as part of the attachment bits, comes with two different size brackets. So I'll have to figure out which size is the right one. It's not the big one, I've already tested it out. It's the small one, and that'll go on the bar of the ICE trike there. And then I'll be able to attach the bag. Should be pretty easy, straightforward. Alright, so what I've had to do is tilt it down just a slight amount in order to clear the wrist rest. But it actually fits quite nicely. So actually I readjusted the wrist rest just a little bit, and now it's level. So I can put the bag level, and that should be really nice. So I'll tighten everything up and tell the ELB it's ready to test out. And so you get an idea of how well this Altura bag is made. It's got bracing in it, it's got a piece of ABS plastic in it in the bottom, plus it's all covered with a light insulation, so it's nice. The cool thing about this is if you want to put it on a bike and you need to reposition it in some way, it would be easy to do by removing the screws and the bolts that are inside there and just moving it around a little bit. And then you just have to worry about, you got a couple extra holes, but to me that's not a big deal. But I'll show you inside this bag. It's very well made. It's kind of hard to see, but you have this brace that goes all the way around. Now it's made of plastic, and I assume that's just to make it light. But for what you're going to be putting in this, you're not going to be putting very much stuff in it anyway, or you shouldn't. It'll work just fine. So it also came with this plastic coated steel cable and these little locking bits. So then here is the security locking cable. Comes with these two lock collars and a plastic coated cable, and I'll just mount it to the bolt that ICE has on there. So before you put the cable through the holes, you take these and you put them in there, and then you run the cable down through them and tighten them up. So then what that does is that provides extra security for any weight and will keep it from rotating. If these come loose, it'll keep it from rotating down too much anyway. That's the idea. And as it turns out, you can see that the regular ICE side pod bags fit just fine. So she'll still be able to carry a lot of cargo and sweaters and jackets and spare tires and things like that that she might need to carry, but has easy access to whatever it is she needs to use while she's on the road without having to reach behind her. So that's actually a really nice bag in a really nice place, and it's totally unobtrusive if you want to use the side pod bags. So now I'm going to go ahead and install the quad lock that works with her phone. So this is just the case, really. It's not a big deal. It's a phone case, but it's got the quad lock thing in it, and it's sized to fit the phone that the ELB has. This is the handlebar mount system, which I am going to mount to a menorah type mount. So it turns out after the test fit, I had to do some tweaking. Fortunately, I had some T-Cycle mounting bits and bobs, and so I have completely redone the mount for the quad lock phone. So as you can see, the quad lock is now on this T-Cycle mount, which is much better. It's out of the way. There's no things that are there's nothing that's in the way blocking hands or anything, and this fits the ELB's hand perfectly. And then it raises the phone up to where it's at a good angle and it's high enough, and it doesn't interfere with the mirror, so she doesn't have any issues with the mirror. The phone mount is there, she can see it easily, and it's about right where she wants it. So we may need some additional tweaks from here, but I think that should work. I also had to remount the bag a little bit, and essentially I had to move it out to its full position all the way out. So this does two things. This gets it out of the way so she didn't have to move her wrist rest, and it allows it to open easily while she's sitting in the trike, and she wanted something she could open while she was moving, and this allows that, so it's out of the way. And I moved it out here. This will also allow, with this all the way out to the outside like this, will allow me to mount one on the other side. So if she feels that she really likes this bag and likes how it works, we can put a matching bag on the other side. This may be an accessory that I might add to my bike, because it really does make a difference if you can have access to this stuff right here. Things like my camera and extra batteries and all of the things that I carry for filming and things like that. Then you could put food in there and things like that, and I don't know, maybe that would change our Friday rides and we wouldn't hit so many restaurants that way. Final thing I wanted to take care of while I was out here, the ELB needed a light mount for the front of her trike since I took it to mount my GPS. So I took the original mount off the front of her trike and used this where water bottle holder would normally go to mount my GPS. So originally we had the light down here, just kind of strapped to the bottom bracket here, but the rubber bands kept slipping off. It just wasn't enough room here to fit. All I did was I took this T-Cycle bar that I'd cut off, I cut this off because it was too long, so we didn't want to use the full length, but this was about where I needed it to be for the new phone mount, and that little piece was just enough to make that. And all I did was I drilled a hole all the way through it, used the bolt that goes here for the other mount bolt, and just drill a hole through it. On one side it's larger so the head can go through, so the head only goes through on one side, and then it's just a little piece of Gorilla Tape to cover the hole, which makes it easy in case I need to take it off or do anything like that. And then it's just the rubber band mounted with the light, which to me looks like a really elegant solution. So that's it. Hope to see you out on the trail. Until next time, cheers.